We are coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios in the heart of Johannesburg. This is Prime News on SABC 3. And here's what's dominating in your leads at this hour.
Mr. Karim seeks in-camera protection because he alleges that it is not possible for the postponement application sensibly to be heard in a manner that would separate information.
Kicking off with the Madlanga Commission, the postponement application of Northwest businessman Suleiman Karim has been pushed back to next week Friday.
The world increasingly looks to Africa for the critical minerals.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says migration remains a challenge for many countries.
Multiple government entities, from municipal health departments to national regulatory bodies, may have failed in their duty to protect consumers.
And Public Protector Advocate Kollega Galeka has found that Gauteng municipalities have failed to enforce food safety and business bylaws within the informal spaza shop sector. It has just gone 6 o'clock and you are watching Prime News on SABC 3. Good evening and welcome to it. My name is Beki Mutumumulete, your host for today. Also joining us is our sign language interpreter, Fortune Madlanga. Let's chart a course together through the day's biggest stories. And with that said, here are your top stories. We launch with this. The postponement application of Northwest businessman Suleiman Karim has been pushed back to next Friday. That is after his legal team filed a substantive application at 3:30 this morning, leading to timelines being drawn. Meanwhile, IDAC head advocate Andrea Johnson has returned to work after her recent hospitalization halted her appearance before the Madlanga Commission.
The prospects of whether or not the public will be given a glimpse into the CCTV footage which allegedly captures Suleiman Karim, who claims he is not medically fit to appear before the Madlanga Commission, lunching at a shopping complex in the Western Cape, will have to wait a week. This as Karim's postponement bid will now be heard on Friday the 24th of July 2026. But Karim wants it to go behind closed doors.
Mr. Karim seeks in-camera protection because he alleges that it is not possible for the postponement application sensibly to be heard in a manner that would separate information, the disclosure of which would implicate Mr. Karim's fundamental rights to privacy and dignity, from any other information to be canvassed in the application.
Meanwhile, news broke that advocate Andrea Johnson of the IDAC has returned to work after hospitalization on Monday.
As far as we are aware, she is no longer ill. There's no indication of that. And so I think you can expect that. And certainly, of course, the Commission needs to and wants to hear from her as soon as possible.
In addition, the Commission turned back to the Port Shepstone theft of cocaine.
Would I be unfair to ask if he did not choose you because he thought you might be pliable to do whatever it was he wanted to do?
I would not know.
Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
Meanwhile, Witness K, the JMPD officer whose explosive testimony before the Madlanga Commission implicated senior law enforcement officials, including Julius Mkhwanazi, in an alleged stage raid for precious stones, has been arrested. Her arrest comes weeks after she detailed the alleged operation before the Commission, where she claimed she received 22,000 rand for her role.
Initially, we had 5 warrants of arrest that we had to effect, and I think a week ago we only effected 3 warrants because we had to sort out the paperwork for the remaining 2. So today we are effecting the 2 warrants of arrest, and that is why we have the 1 suspect with us, and we're still looking or pursuing the 2nd suspect. All of them, like I've indicated previously, they raided a house in Killarney, Johannesburg without a warrant, and one of the suspects also impersonated himself as a police officer, while others went to conduct an investigation in an area which was not their area of jurisdiction. But we also had 2 other suspects whose responsibilities at work does not involve any investigation work, and that is the reason why they were facing fraud. There was fraud because there was theft of those precious stones, and they did not even register those exhibits after they seized them from that house in Killarney in the occurrence book of the South African Police Service at a police station.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says migration remains a challenge for many countries. The president was speaking during the 4th Binational Commission in Pretoria between South Africa and Namibia. He called for a broader dialogue with the aim of ensuring that sustained solutions are found. Namibian President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah evoked the shared history between the two countries and called for better cooperation in addressing economic challenges facing the two nations.
The world increasingly looks to Africa for the critical minerals, energy resources, agricultural potential, and strategic partnership that will shape the industries of the world into the future. The question before us is therefore not whether Africa possesses these resources. The question is whether Africans will be prepared to capture the value that they create.
We have identified the several high-impact priority areas for consideration during this summit of the NBNC. These priorities include exploring the possibility of formalizing the proposal to transmit electricity from Angola through Namibia to South Africa. Central to advancing the regional agenda for deeper industrialization, enhancing market integration, and sustainable economic growth and development is the development of reliable and interconnected energy infrastructure.
To this now, the South Africa-Namibia Business Forum was convened at Gallagher Estate in Midrand, where businesses and business formations from the two countries exchange ideas on how best to enhance trade and investment opportunities with each other. The Business Forum was happening as President Cyril Ramaphosa and his Namibian counterpart, President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, co-chaired the Binational Commission meeting between the two countries.
South African and Namibian business people were in full attendance at the Business Forum discussing economic and business opportunities in each other's countries.
We have an opportunity to combine our strengths as these two countries and perhaps others on the sort of SADC region to manufacture, to process our minerals here so that we can send them as high valued products.
Namibia's economic prospects are looking good, especially in light of recent oil and gas finds in the country.
So we are actually looking at diversifying our economy in terms of manufacturing, in terms of energy, also in terms of tourism and creative industry.
Brown South Africa noted that the trade benefit remains skewed in South Africa's favour, but that discussions were being had to improve that more in Namibia's favour.
Trade relations between South Africa and Namibia is more favourable to South Africa. The Namibians are looking for more investments to get into Namibia. So an area related to investment will also be addressed. And then finally, they'll be looking at how those projects are going to be funded.
Nompumelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.
When we return, the public protector has found that Gauteng municipalities have failed to enforce food safety and business bylaws within the informal spaza shop sector. We have this and more coming up after the break. Welcome back to Prime News on SABC3. 2 SANDF members have been confirmed dead after falling into a disused mine shaft in Roodepoort this morning. According to police, the members were in pursuit of suspected illegal miners during Operation Prosper when they slipped and fell into the shaft.
to be in illegal mining environment underground. And there is water inside, there is streams and even mud. That's where our members got slipped. One slipped, the other one tried to rescue him, and unfortunately it was in the mud. And we then had to get the rescue teams to come and ensure that we rescue them. And to an unfortunate situation, our two members, our two colleagues from SNDF lost their lives. All role players, relevant role players, were on scene. Our forensics came, and our chaplains from SABC with social workers and chaplains from SNDF came to deal with the situation, to address the emotional well-being and situation which our members now experienced.
Public Protector Advocate Kollega Gcaleka has found that Gauteng municipalities have failed to enforce food safety and business bylaws within the informal spaza shop sector. Gcaleka says that this includes South Africans aiding and abetting foreigners in operating these businesses.
The growing threat to public health poses by expired and decayed food in the markets requires urgent and thorough investigation. Multiple government entities, from municipal health departments to national regulatory bodies, may have failed in their duty to protect consumers and uphold food safety standards. And the people of South Africa deserve accountability and protection from those entrusted with safeguarding their health and safety. And as a result, the Public Protector should exercise its constitutional mandate to investigate these failures and recommend necessary remedial action. The complaint forms the basis upon which the systemic investigation into the allegations of inadequate enforcement of prescripts regulating compliance with food safety and hygiene standards within the informal business sector, including spaza shops, hawkers, and other food preparation premises by various organs of state. The intention of the systemic investigation is to address issues affecting larger groups and in so doing make a much broader impact with appropriate remedial action and systemic solutions. Experience has shown that once systemic root causes and process failures have been discovered and cured, the influx of complaints about similar issues is reduced substantially.
Action SA says that it has instructed its legal team to challenge the SAPS disciplinary hearing that led Major General Wally Rudd and Henny Rikoto. The party has stated that the outcome contradicts IPID findings.
The record of Ruda's disciplinary hearing is 4 pages long and Rikoto's is 2 pages long. For a record of decision, this really raises the question, was a disciplinary hearing actually held at all? Because at the end of the day, what we know is that these were 2 matters investigated, including by the Public Protector and IPID, and there's no way that 6 pages in total can do justice to a proper disciplinary process that was required by the Public Protector.
To this now, DA leader Jordan Hill-Lewis has called the state of infrastructure in Johannesburg a disgrace. Hill-Lewis, accompanied by the DA's Johannesburg mayoral candidate, Helen Zille, and other regional leadership, conducted site visits around the city to inspect the state of infrastructure ahead of the upcoming local government elections. The DA also submitted documented service delivery failures to the Public Protector for investigation.
A city on the brink of financial bankruptcy and economic decline, Johannesburg has seen its fair share of crumbling infrastructure and dissatisfied residents.
What we've seen here today is caused by years of neglect, failure to prioritize investment in basic infrastructure, and failure to spend money properly. And the consequences are plain for all to see, and not just in the smell and the huge river of sewage that we saw, but also the consequences for jobs.
The City of Cape Town Mayor and now National Party leader says he has dealt with his fair share of infrastructural decline, but nothing close to what he has seen in the City of Gold.
The truly remarkable and disgraceful and unacceptable thing is that there is no plan to maintain it, to fix it, to upgrade it, not for months or even a year, but for years and years.
The DA's Johannesburg mayoral candidate, Helen Zille, has emphasized that the current situation seen in the city is a political choice that can be turned around come the November polls. Zara Groenewald, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Thank you for staying with us. Tributes continue to pour in for celebrated playwright and television actor Seputla Sebogodi, who passed away following complications related to diabetes. Sebogodi was best known as Kenneth Mashaba on Generations and also starred in Rhythm City, The River and Scandal, amongst many other productions. For more on this, we now cross live to our reporter, Rendani Ralipaswa, who is at the family home of the veteran actor. Rendani, welcome to Prime News. Can you please describe the atmosphere there for us right now, particularly who is with the family at this time, and are we seeing community members, colleagues or industry leaders gathering?
It is very quiet here outside the grandparents' home of the late actor Seputla Sebogodi. You do remember that he mostly spent his time in Gauteng, but this is where he also grew up. According to his nephew that we interviewed when we arrived here, he told us that his uncle, the late, stayed here since 1976, but then after he went back to Gauteng. This after in 1976, he fled from Gauteng. He was fleeing from the police. That's why he chose to come here. But when we arrived here, it was very quiet. There's no one at home. According to the nephew that we interviewed, the sister who stays here is currently in a town at a place in Polokwane. We do remember that this is only the sister who stays here. Very quiet. There is no one to speak to. We didn't see any movement. But right now I am joined by the neighbor who will tell us more about the late veteran actor. She told us that he was a very kind person and she saw him growing up. Kenneth Mashaba.
Nna ke le moagisane wa Kenneth Mashaba ke fitlhile mo ka 1986 ke khoditse motse wa bo Kenneth Mashaba o ntse o ile gona mara ke ile ge ke dula mo gausu le bo bona ka hotsa ile gore ke batho ba tlhompho le ke khoditse ile gore ke batho ba tlhompho le lerato ka dula le bo bona a ka nya ka mmereko toropong ka bereka a ba gore yena o berekela bo Gauteng ga berekela Gauteng nna ke berekela Polokwane ga a re Mantaga a ya Gauteng o be a le tšapele ka mo ke napile ke tswa a nna metša a pitla a ntatla mo ke berekang gona a tswela pele le mmereko wa gage le leeto la gagwe la go Gauteng nna ke dutse mo ke a sa ka tshwenyana le bo bona e be le motho wa khutso ga gana tso le hula gage le re tlhakantšitše tlhogo ka ge e le moagišane wa go loka wa ka a no tswa ke sa tseba le gore nna ke reng ba ga Sebogodi a le a latlhega le teng le rena setšhaba re latlhegetšwe ke senatla se segolo sa tlhompho
That is the neighbor just telling us about what a kind and also what a friendly person the late Seputla Sebogodi was. They call him Kenneth Mashaba here. When we were trying to locate the house, everyone was saying, oh, Kenneth Mashaba's house, Kenneth Mashaba's house. That's the famous name that everyone in this village know him by. She was also saying that it was one person who always give her leave to when she was going back, when she was going to work, when he was also going back to Gauteng. You do remember that he spent most of his time in Gauteng, but he will come and visit here. We understand that this is his grandparents' house. He didn't spend much time here. He only spent 4 years in Gamutapo here in Limpopo, but he spent most of his time in Gauteng where he was acting, and also we understand that he was a musician. But currently right now there is no one at the house. It is very quiet, but I can tell you the community is mourning the death of the late veteran actor, commonly known as Kenneth Mashawa, from his role in Generation. But for now, it's back to you in studio.
Well, thank you very much for that update, Randani. A tremendous loss for South African television. Our thoughts are with the Sebogodi family during this difficult time. We will continue to follow the story and bring you updates as and when made public by the family. Over 300 undocumented immigrants were arrested on Friday during a multi-departmental operation in the Capricorn district in Limpopo. The Police, Home Affairs, Health Department and other stakeholders took part in the operation. A suspect in a murder and housebreaking case who had been on the run for months was also nabbed during the operation.
The operations that began in the early hours of Friday morning focused mainly on parts of Sishihu Township in Polokwane. Police say the operation was prompted by numerous complaints from members of the public concerning what they called uncontrolled illegal immigration in their communities. 76 undocumented immigrants were arrested during a roadblock in Sishihu Extension 44.
I'm happy with what we achieved here today. But I think this is only the start. Like the Premier said, we are having all the other departments from government under the leadership of the Premier to work with us. And we are not going to clean only here. I'm happy with what we did, what we've done here, very happy. But we will expand this operation to all the other districts.
Members of the public have appealed to undocumented immigrants to go home and sort out their travel documents. Limpopo Premier Dr. Bobby Ramatuba also joined the operation.
But then the people also of the country have been raising this concern. They've been marching, they've been protesting, and saying government is not listening to them. I'm also one of those who would say the hospitals are overburdened because we don't know who is who.
Meanwhile, Ramatuba says accommodating undocumented immigrants as tenants in South African households is contributing to the problem of illegal immigration. Rutendo Bobori, SABC News in Sishihu.
Cloud cover to Spotlight. It is now time for us to check in with our weather team for the details on your forecast. Coming right up.
Thank you very much and a very warm welcome to the weather desk. It is a high pressure system that's dominating the weather over the country. That is why we're only expecting a cloudy night as we move towards the Western Cape, stretching all the way into the Northern Cape for tonight and also for tomorrow. Quite clear as we move towards Gauteng, Limpopo and Mpumalanga with some morning fog patches as we move towards that interior of KwaZulu-Natal, stretching towards the southern parts of the Eastern Cape and Western Cape. Those morning fog patches, it means that visibility will be reduced in the morning. Also expecting some evening fog patches as we move towards the coast over the Northern Cape, meaning also that visibility will be reduced during the evening. So please, just be careful those who will be driving over those areas. Gauteng for tomorrow, it is quite cold for tonight with a low of 5 over Johannesburg peaking at 22, 23, 24 rather will be a high as we move into Pretoria. Now moving towards Limpopo for tomorrow, it is a warm day over Limpopo, sunshine out, 30 over Musina, 29 over Toyando, Giani stretching towards Palabra, also expecting a hot day, especially over Palabra, the high of 31. Polokwane starting off at 5, peaking at 28. Now moving towards Mpumalanga for tomorrow, it is going to be a warm day also for Mpumalanga for tomorrow, especially over Mbombela with a high of 28 and Malahleni peaking at 23, but it will start off at 9, so it should be cold in the morning over those areas. Also expecting a cold morning over Pietermaritzburg with a low of 7, 26 will be your high, and also 26 over Richards Bay. Durban starting off at 15, peaking at 24. Moving towards the Eastern Cape for tomorrow, remember morning fog patches as we move towards Kabeja for tomorrow, starting off at 10, peaking at 19. Maletswai, quite cold for tonight with a low of 2, peaking at 17. It is going to be a cool day as we move towards the mother city for tomorrow with a high of 16. It is a warm day with Fernandale with a maximum of 25. Springbok for tomorrow, expecting a high of 26. Warm conditions over the Northern Cape for tomorrow. Goodman, Kimberley, peaking at 25. It is freezing over Bethlehem for tonight with a low of 0 peaking at 19. Starting off at 1 over Bloemfontein, peaking at 22. And lastly over the Northwest Province for tomorrow. Rustenburg at 26, also expecting a warm day's move toward Tosca, but freezing overnight with a low of 0. Tau expecting a high of 25. That's all the weather I have for you. Stay tuned.
We have come to the end of our bulletin and we thank you for your audience. Please note that as of Monday, Prime News returns to its regular 8 p.m. slot. Be sure to tune in, and until then, from all of us, it is good night.